Hello everybody, my name is KingStix and today I want to talk to you about the soon upcoming changes to ARAM in patch 8.11. To give you reference, we're currently in patch 8.10 right now, so this is going to be very soon within the next 2 weeks. It's mainly ARAM quality of life changes, but also some core changes as well. I believe this is mainly due to the fact that Fortnite is so popular among casual players, especially younger people or people who don't play that game that much. So Riot is trying to give their Howling Abyss ARAM mode some more attention and make it more fun, which I'm glad they're doing. This is why I think Fortnite is actually good for League of Legends, because it's going to make League of Legends up their game. By far the biggest change ARAM is going to be receiving in patch 8.11 is the champ select. Before, whenever you used to reroll a champion, let's say you got Evelyn, then you did a reroll, and then you got stuck on Nasus. You're like, oh crap, I don't want to play Nasus. I'll have no way to stack my queue. And you want to go back and play Evelyn. Well, now you can't. Evelyn's lost. You're stuck on Nasus. Now your reroll was for nothing. Now, a really cool thing that they're adding is whenever you reroll a champion, it goes into a pool, and you or your teammates, after you've all picked your champions, can swap out, trade with this pool right here. So for example, let's say he had Lee Sin, he rerolled for a Ryze. This person had Brand, they rerolled for a Xayah, and then you get stuck on Janna. So now that you're stuck on Janna, you could be like, yo, I don't want to play this trash champ, and then you pick Brand because you want to do some damage, even though Janna is actually pretty strong. I think this is a really cool change, and it will make ARAMs a lot more fun for everybody, because even if you get stuck with a bad champion, if your teammate changes out their champion, it'll be much easier for you to swap out with it. You also won't have the re-roller's regret of where you get stuck with something much worse than what you had originally. One last change that I want to mention that I almost let slip through is they are going to be adding more rerolls based off of how many champions you own. If you own 0 champions, then you'll only get a reroll about every 2 games. However, when you start getting more champions, this will be increased. For example, if you own every single champion in League of Legends, you'll get a minimum of 1 reroll every single game. And then maybe every other game you'll get 2 rerolls per that game. I think that's really cool, and I think everyone should get a minimum of 1 reroll to begin with. But the fact that Riot is pushing ARAM in this direction, I think is going to be very healthy and fun for League of Legends. Another amazing change is ARAM is going to be upping its free champion pool for ARAM only. So now instead of having like 15 or 20 champions like they had before, they are going to be having 42 free-to-play champions on ARAM, so you won't be seeing the same champs every single game, because a lot of people who play ARAM don't really own a lot of champions, and it can get very annoying seeing a Varus or a Lux pretty much every single game. A really big issue that ARAM has had is it's not satisfying to play, because even if you do really well, it's been impossible to get an S, because the rating system has been based primarily off of Summoner's Rift, and in Summoner's Rift, there's not near as many deaths as there are in ARAM, because in ARAM, you can't recall, so you're going to have to die at some point. Therefore, there's going to be a lot more deaths than on Summoner's Rift, and everyone's going to have a lot less CS since there's a lot less minions. So it's really difficult to get an S, if at all. Thank God they are going to be tweaking the algorithm specifically for ARAMs, which is going to make it much easier for you to be rewarded properly in patch 8.11. Howling Abyss is also going to be getting gates at the very beginning of the game previously. So in this current patch, right when you spawn in, you can immediately leave and run for the bushes in the middle of the map. That's kind of unfair because some players haven't quite finished loading, or maybe someone went to go grab a donut. So now there will be a gate around your spawn for 15 seconds, which gives everyone on your team a chance to play the game, because they're not just getting cheated since their computer didn't load quite as fast. So I think this is an amazing change. I'm really glad League of Legends is giving some consideration to the casual players. I personally used to play a lot of ARAM back when I was like a platinum player. So these changes, even for me, I think they're pretty cool. Additionally, in each ARAM game now, whenever you enter, you'll be level 3 with 662 experience. So you'll be able to get to level 4 much faster. I think that's very cool because it'll make the games not take as long. And previously you get stuck at level 3 for so long. Getting to level 6 for your ultimate was a massive drag. The next quality of life change is for surrendering. Now, I don't think this is that big of a deal. Most people in ARAMs don't surrender at all, since it's not ranked. If you lose, you don't lose anything except for your time. So I don't think this change matters that much. It's mainly for if someone AFKs or rage quits. You can now surrender at the 8-minute mark as long as it's unanimous, and now you can do a normal vote at the 12-minute mark. So if you're just definitely not going to win, or you got 2 people hardcore raging and everyone wants to quit, you can now quit even sooner, which is definitely a good change. The changes that I'm about to mention are pretty much only going to be in patch 8.11. they're only going to stay if people really like them, and that is going to be a nerf to Dark Harvest, removal of Warmog's armor. Dark Harvest is too good since you can't recall. Everyone gets the Dark Harvest stacks way too easily, so they're going to be reducing Dark Harvest stacks you get on kills. Warmog's armor is too strong on tanks. They can just heal back all their HP. So if one team has a tank such as a Trundle or a Poppy, they can just leave combat for 8 seconds, get full HP, and get back into it. There's really no way to beat them. They're also going to be adding 3 new items for a limited time, which I think is really cool. ARAM definitely needs some new items and new improvements. The first item is Ghost Walkers. It's a pair of boots that only melee champions can buy, thank God. And they let you walk through walls just like Kayn does. Over here we see a Warwick, and then I think we see a Corki right here. This will definitely be interesting to see. The second item is Spectral Cutlass, which is basically like a delayed flash. So right here, Xin Zhao, use the item right here. He walks over here, and after a delay, it'll automatically return him to the mark. So let's say you're a mage, you can lay it, run up, attack, and then just immediately, if you time it properly, teleport back to here, which is pretty nice. And then the third and final item is Bloodletter's Veil. It seems like an AP item. It's a close cousin to Banshee's Veil. This AP magic penetration item shield its owner when they do damage with an ability. These items will appear in the recommended items page for every single champion during the event, so go ahead and try them out. These are mainly just putting PBE items on ARAM, because in the PBE client, people only really play Summoner's Rift, so they're going to be doing a little bit of tests in ARAM. The final experimental change they're going to be pushing out in patch 8.11 for ARAM is a redemption styled health pack. In the upcoming patch, whenever you step on the health pack, it will drop a redemption. The thing is, it also heals enemies. So let's say Ezreal hits this, the enemies can walk into it and be healed as well. So it can be a bit of a two-edged sword. You got to be smart when you use it, and your teammates need to help you to try to push the enemies out. And if you look, the circle goes pretty far, so the enemies can still be under their turret and get inside of it. And those are the new and exciting changes coming up for ARAM. I'm personally very excited. Whenever I'm burnt out on playing Summoner's Rift or I've had a bad day, I'd like to unwind by playing some ARAM rather than playing a different video game altogether. With all of these quality of life changes, ARAM is now going to be worth playing for a lot of people who previously considered it a waste of their time. Recently, Riot released a Q&A. One of the biggest questions was, why don't you release a rank system for ARAM, since you're going to be reworking the Summoner's Rift rank system in the upcoming season? And basically, Ghostcrawler just puts out this awful answer. To give you a summary of the answer that Ghostcrawler gave for this question, he basically said, casual players, they just play for fun. We don't want ARAM to be taken seriously. We want it to just be a bit of a waste of your time, something you do when you have nothing else better to do. And to give you a little bit of proof, he says right here, while leveling is uncapped now and we have features like Champion Mastery, overall there isn't much that a player who plays mostly normals, including ARAMs, can choose to focus on. They don't really have a journey the way ranked players can shoot for an ending in the season with a higher rank. Maybe that's okay. Maybe normal players don't need and aren't looking for an endgame in the same way. But the requests we get for things like competitive ARAM maybe suggest that some players are. I think ARAM should have a competitive mode, and at the very least, I believe there should be some kind of ARAM ranking, whether that be colors or numbers. For example, it could be red, blue, green, and that way you could section people off into different categories. That way you don't have dingleberries playing against good people, but I suppose with the current algorithm, you are already sectioned off, you just don't know it. For example, whenever you go into an ARAM game, it tries to match you against people with your similar skill level. You just don't get the satisfaction of knowing you're better than anyone else because they keep that hidden from you. Without even implementing a rank system, if Riot wants people to take ARAM more seriously, they should reward you for playing games out or for playing more ARAM games in general. For example, let's say you play 2 or 3 ARAM games a day, or let's just say you play 10 a week. If you play more than an X amount of ARAM games, or if you win more than an X amount, you should get an automatic 1 to 2 rerolls per game. Or if they want more people to, or if they want to encourage more people to play ARAM in the first place, they should give everyone 2 rerolls automatically. Personally, if I got 2 rerolls every time I went into an ARAM, I'd play it a lot more often. The most frustrating thing about an ARAM is getting a crap champion and then just kind of the worst thing in ARAM. The worst thing that can happen in ARAM is getting a crap champion, not having a reroll, and then at that point you can either dodge and get a Q timer, or you just play through a whole game and be miserable. Luckily, with some of the changes that they are going to be implementing, for example, being able to pick your teammate's champion that they put up on the bench, I think that'll solve a lot of those issues, but I think everyone should have a minimum of 1, but preferably 2 rerolls per champ select. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And that's going to wrap up the ARAM changes. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah.